vengeance.
Here we go.
Wolves are attacking, my lord.
Wolves are attacking, my lord.
We await your orders.
That music sounded familiar. That must sound like
After
God of
finishing the lesson
War.
off with some interesting games, I figured that I'd start the new year off with something lighter. I said lighter. Okay, there we go. This is Stronghold.
Farming simulator. Well,
and a real-time
castle
strategy.
simulator. Yeah.
The original Stronghold came out in 2001, which was then followed up by Stronghold Crusader in 2002. There's
Yeah.
also another one, but
That was a quick
we'll
turnaround.
save that. Then in 2013, all of the games were released in HD. Well, sort of. They added widescreen support, fixed some bugs and compatibility issues, but it wasn't a visual overhaul or anything. I'm alright with this. It was cheap price-wise.
That's pretty
If you already
good.
own the original versions on Steam or GOG, you got all the new ones for free.
Firefly
This was more like getting
Studios.
a nice patch out of nowhere. To give some background, I got this for Christmas in 2001. I actually still have it. That doesn't seem like a big deal, but back then the game took me by surprise. Because if you play this game on Christmas, the game knows it.
Merry Christmas, my liege.
But it goes even beyond that.
Greetings, Lord Mark. Greetings, Lord.
That's
I
interesting.
tried a lot of names. Stronghold knew just about every one.
Megadeth.
Greetings, Megadeth.
Yeah, I looked and there are a lot of names here. It's not essential or anything, but it is pretty neat. Anyway,
Put
let's
every
get started.
word in the dictionary. And a thesaurus.
Life in the old castle. Happy times them were. The people were all so much friendlier.
And look outside the castle walls, you better get attacked.
The intro sets up a darker, dirtier, more true-to-life view of the Middle Ages. Everything is dirty. All the people are sick. We're not opening up with a classy chess
All
game
the
and a
people are
nice map.
sick and dirty
This
and
sets the game
ugly.
up for being grittier.
Oh, yes. And then there were the neighbors.
Oh yeah, pour hot oil on
So
these
is
people.
Stronghold a dark, gritty game where hard choices will have to be made? Well, not really. But yes, a lot of people will die to fire. That part is true. Right from the menu screen, you'll find that Stronghold has a lot of game modes. There are combat maps, economy maps, and of
Not like
course,
the
freedom.
mobile games I
That's not even
play.
counting the map
A
making.
lot of
It's not on Warcraft 3 levels, but what's here is solid. There are
Except it's
still
more
tons of custom
detail.
maps out there to download. Still, if you're brand new, you'll probably want to start with the military campaign. It doubles as the tutorial, introducing new mechanics with each mission. So for the time being, I'm going to focus on the campaign. The story is very simple. You play as the son of the king's advisor. Your father was killed by mystery bandits, and the king has been imprisoned. Now the inbred version of Dead Cell rules the land, and it's up to you to stop them. The narrative doesn't have any
Ugh.
complicated themes or
he
really
definitely inbred.
the writing and dialogue is also very simplistic, but it's clearly aimed at kids, probably between 10 and 12 years old. The campaign never outright says what age you're supposed to be, but it's heavily implied you're way too young to be doing this. Enemies will refer to you as a child. So for me, and probably most of you, it's not worth the
If you're an
Maybe
adult,
like me
why are
putting
you
on a show
playing
made
this?
for little children and complaining that it's not stimulating me enough. To give an example, there's a character called the Snake who looks like this and has a catchphrase.
Relax. By the time we return from our hunting trip, the problem will have resolved itself. Trust me. Show some backbone. My contingency plan is already in motion. You'll have your county back.
The dude has one eye. He is clearly evil. The
There's a part in the
snake.
game where you make a bargain with him. Do you think you would buy a car from this man? Or a hot dog?
Duke de Pouce wishes to meet us in this valley.
I wouldn't buy kidneys if I needed them from his
It's a
ass.
trap. Sir Longarm was right.
You get it. Admittedly, the
Sir
animations for the characters are
Longarm.
a lot of fun, and the voice acting is fantastic. While the characters are one-dimensional and predictable, they bring such enthusiasm to the role that you want to.
Sir Giant Anus was right.
Unbelievable. I'm running out of counties and they'll be coming for me next. I'm doomed.
Oh, dude.
I pull out teeth, cut off
The fuck?
toes, break knees. Most fun I have for a long time. How did you do? Did you hunt down your prey?
Oh, his name is the pig. No wonder. The wolf. Wow. Oh, so everyone is named something that they act like. He snorts, so he's the pig. This guy growls, so he's the wolf.
How can you have beaten my troops?
The pig addresses the people of his newly conquered county.
I was about to say something that would have been very offensive.
Your throne is mine now, so do
So
as
this
I
starts with
say.
the R
I
word.
will pay a high tax and live a life of pain.
You know what? The pig has some pretty good ideas. I won't write him off yet. Now, if you want to save
Got a
England,
big
or
ass
maybe
head.
America, you'll need to build, collect, and fight your way to victory.
America.
Since we're already on the subject, let's talk about
Well, it's
the
all
build
fantasy. It doesn't
Like
fucking
I
matter.
said before, the HD version doesn't overhaul the graphics, but they really didn't need to. I think the sprite work has held up incredibly well. All of the different
It looks
unit and building
fine.
types are sharp and easily distinguishable.
Especially
Buildings also have
games I
cross-sections,
played.
so you can see all the workers doing their thing inside. This is a game where your tiny village can become gigantic, and you'd think things could get cluttered up, but it never happened to me. The visuals are detailed enough to look pleasant, but not so much that it starts getting confusing when your town gets busy. Most of the buildings have these 3D animations and sound effects and tell you where the workers are. It makes it simple to see what's going on at a glance, rather than needing icons or menus everywhere. It's very clean. All of the buildings have a lot of different animations. In most RTS games, someone just whacks a tree and then brings the Minecraft blocks home. Here you see them chop down the tree, bring the logs home in trips, and then refine them into planks. Then they drop them off in town. And here comes the local Fletcher. He turns the wood into bows or crossbows.
very
and drops off
detailed.
at the armory. Besides being some neat detail, it also shows you how efficient your city is. If this guy is hobbling across town, something's wrong. Some maps can be more confusing, so you do have the option to flatten buildings and also flatten the terrain. This is good for planning out your street layouts and
that's
also for
interesting.
fights that get too confusing. The HD version also added a zoom
More
out
detailed
feature.
than I thought.
This is great for the bigger maps, not so much the smaller maps, and it's a good addition. You can rotate the map, but some buildings will rotate with you, which can be disorienting. You're given a lot of tools to help you tell what's going on, but
Yeah, that's
sometimes
weird.
it's just not enough. Some maps can feel like playing a tower defense game. Well, it kind of is. But I had situations where I thought I was plugging up holes, then the enemy comes and it's like, oh, they can walk over those rocks. So that can be annoying. Sometimes you want to make a building, but someone is wandering around there. Well, you have to wait for them to leave. It's also worth
Really
mentioning
can't
that
make
some
'em
builds
leave?
have way choppier animations than others. It's the one thing I wish the HD version had updated. Still, those are my only gripes with graphical and building stuff. As for the sound, I want you to meet the advisor. His voice is burned into my brain.
Cite your granary, sire. Our granary stocks are growing.
Cite your granary, sire.
Our treasury is emptying.
Our treasury is
Not only do I hear him
emptying.
when I see him, but if I see like a similarly hooded man, I think of him. Well, there's nothing really stand out about the sound effects.
Ooh.
The voice is really sticky.
Starting to sweat.
Wood needed. Wood stocks.
Did take a hot shower like an hour ago.
Can't place that there, my lord.
2 hours
Can't
ago.
place that there, my lord.
Double rack.
Hey, listen.
No taxes.
Listen.
import Taxes. That's my
Hey, listen.
Callouts are, once again, a good way to keep tabs on things without using menus. Sure, you can easily check, but you can also click on a peasant.
We have so much food nowadays. I'm getting really fat.
The soundtrack is great.
We
but
have
it is based on what's
such
going on.
rare
The music
delights
seems
to
authentic
show
the
you.
setting. Period-appropriate instruments with a dash of Gregorian chanting. When the chanting comes out before a mission, that's when you know it's serious.
The wolf.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're about to get attacked.
Onto the gameplay. Most of the single-player game modes have a difficulty. These adjust a few factors. For example, if it's an economic mission, you'll need to gather more materials. An easier difficulty for a siege attack gives you more troops. If it's a siege defense mission, then the attackers will get less troops. So thankfully the difficulty doesn't adjust the stats or efficiency of anything, just the quantity of them. The game is still fairly relaxed on the normal difficulty, and on the hardest, it makes some maps a decent challenge. You don't need to radically alter your playstyle for a harder setting. You can somewhat divide Stronghold into the city building and management side, and the real-time strategy game side. The military is dependent on your economy in several game modes, so I'll talk about the
That's what I
military
was
side
thinking
first.
of when I was
Also
looking
known
at
as
this.
getting into agriculture.
I was looking
There are
looking
two
at
kinds of survival.
a few
One is
seconds
the
of this
horde
earlier. I was like
slave
real-time
ensures
strategy
that your
game.
city must stay alive. Now, in order to attract new slaves, you need to
Slaves. Like
to
this
attract persons with food and
serfs.
disability,
There.
you need to have some amenities.
Basically
These
slaves.
are the Dark Ages, so food is a good starting point. You can eventually get people happy through advanced methods like religion, getting everybody hammered, and entertainment. Of course,
Like,
people
you
might
will
slack
be
off with
Christian,
entertainment.
or you will
can
die,
build a garden, but
or be
Easter hasn't been
exiled.
invented
Choose.
yet. That means you can put Winnie the Pooh dangerously close to the children's maypole. Now,
The
if you
fuck?
get tired of the Shakira routine, It's possible he might be fed up from work and then feed up on villagers in the town center.
Oh,
That's what
wow.
we call a bear market.
He might
Disregarding
attack
fire
everybody in the
prices,
village.
if popularity is high, people come to the castle. Actions people don't enjoy include starving them of food, raising the taxes too high, and not preventing home invasions. Those make people want to leave the castle. You don't have to
Taxes
isolate
too
wholesale entertainment.
goddamn high.
You can also build bad stuff. These will scare people, but make them work harder. When I was younger, I would only build a single gallows. I thought it would be for criminals and quick. Now that I'm older, I understand mankind's depravity more. I've opened up some more options.
Mankind.
It's
Oh,
all about
wow.
maintaining a balance between popularity
Was
and
that the
efficiency.
rack?
Because on one hand, sure, making wheat into bread is the most efficient food source, but it takes a lot of materials and workers to set up. It needs a lot of space and time and special farmland for the wheat. All the bakeries, you're gonna need a lot of bakeries. And people are happier if they have a variety of food. I've been to school. Depending on only one food source is risky. It's
Yeah.
up to you to figure out how to balance
Literally
it.
lived on
Don't
top
breed
ramen
disasters.
for like
You can't make booze if the hops are ruined.
10 years.
No cheese if the cows die of disease.
9 years, actually.
Well, we could do something.
Here comes the cow.
Oh, you
Don't
just shot a
forget the
cow?
rabbits. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You should prepare.
Sheesh.
Rabbits can join the invaders for all I know. Things could look
What?
fine, then it turned out a woodcutter led 5,000 wolves home. Don't let him eat the boss. These aren't Age of Empires wolves. These are Stronghold wolves. They're relentless. They're evil, smelly wolves who litter and have soul patches. They don't deserve life.
Always ready. No problem.
They have soul badges.
There always seems to be something to work on, whether it's trading in the market or fortifying your town more. It's not the most intricate game compared to other city managers, but what's here is solid, and it's fun to see all the components moving. This is where military units come in. You need a free
It
worker,
looks
money,
interesting.
and materials to train them. So to expand, you need more housing for free workers, weapons manufacturing centers, and of course, ways to get more money.
This is the only games like
There's the
this
castle
that
building
people
itself
would
with
tolerate
constructed
like really
towers,
bad
drawbridges,
graphics
traps,
or just
keep caged
average
up war dogs,
graphics.
make emplacements for fire arrows, and even put siege weapons on the big towers.
What?
Why isn't this in the game? So once again,
Oh, I was like, is that
the original game is
Warhammer?
Great,
Wait.
but let's talk about the combat. It's refreshing that every unit in the game remains useful. Spearmen are weak, but they can push away siege ladders. Crossbows penetrate armor, but don't fire nearly as fast as regular archers. Swordsmen are very slow, but can dish out and take a lot of damage. Macemen are fast and can break through the armor of swordsmen, but you need a lot to be effective since their armor is very weak. So it avoids a rock paper scissors formula. That part
So
is
you
always
gotta
interesting.
just strategize,
You
huh?
can use tunnelers, fill in the moat, build different engines that use different ammunition types. Combat has so many options. The biggest problem is the control and the pathfinding. Troops only have 3 stances. There are no formations, there's no attack move, there's nothing that a lot of basic RTS games had in that time. The result is moving groups of units at once can feel very clumsy, and then during that you start getting pathfinding issues. It's especially bad when you're trying to climb up a wall. Check this out. Right here I'm putting a siege tower on the wall. Except even when it's down, I can't order my units to just climb on the wall and attack everything around them. I have to click on a specific person to get them all up there. It's the same thing with ladders.
That
and is a very
sucks.
strong man, by the way. The thing is, after about 10 to 15 seconds, the game will let you climb up on the walls or behind the walls with a regular movement. This is annoying when you're dealing with a lot of layered walls, and you will be. When the units actually get on the walls,
You
then
will
combat plays
be.
itself out. The AI is also afflicted by some weird pathfinding. The AI makes a lot of bad decisions in general. They don't charge at once, but send their units
AI
out
in
anyway.
games normally,
Here when they
like
send
from what
bigger
I've
units
experienced,
out.
sucks
Or here when they charge ladders with archers.
for the most part.
Archers probably aren't going to be climbing the wall. There could be a reason they don't all charge, and I suspect it's due to the most powerful unit in the game. You've seen it already. In most RTS games, fire is just a damage indicator for a building. Not in Stronghold.
Need some muscle? What?
Gonna burn some muscle. Guess sheesh.
There's really nothing like having questionable pathfinding and invisible
Fucking
fire
nightmare.
It's insanely effective, especially when your enemy will still walk single file into it. At least now I'm inside past.
Cause they're fucking
No,
idiots.
it's here
Oh
too.
shit.
If this game has a meta, it's fire. I really don't know what else to say about it. It's incredibly
Greek
satisfying
fire?
to
The
pull it
fuck
off,
is
but when
that?
it's done to you, man.
Let it burn.
Whoa. Oh shit. Fire spread quick. God damn.
We have survived the enemy's onslaught.
Victory.
There's no
Everything
real
is on
danger in
fire.
just trying to bait it out. Once you're caught in the fire, it's between you and God. That reminds me, this game doesn't have a single-player skirmish mode. I'm gonna guess that the AI couldn't handle it, but I know a game that does have it.
Greetings, sire. The desert awaits you.
Stronghold Crusader was sold as a standalone game, but it's more of an expansion pack if you played the first game. Our setting has moved half a world over. The game now takes place
I thought
in the
this
Old
is
World,
Stronghold
a time when
C for a
religious
second. I was
Europeans
like, oh,
looked
it's
towards the land
Crusader.
of Christ. They looked, and they didn't like it. This time around, there are 4 campaigns with 4 missions each. They're pseudo-historical events rather than the story of the first game, which is fine. Like the original game, it's mainly for teaching you the mechanics and the new stuff. The original game had lots of siege maps and invasion maps to play around with, and Crusader has none of those. Instead, there's a campaign of 50 skirmish missions and a bonus campaign of 30 more. And you could set up a standard game of it with your own parameters. What the first game lacked is now the main game mode. Then again, we still have free build. Most of the buildings have a new look to reflect the setting, and that goes for the units as well. There are also a handful of new buildings, but the biggest change comes from
Why is they always shooting arrows?
You only need free workers and gold to hire them. This means you can rush in the first seconds of the game. However, some units like slingers are effective in groups and cheap to recruit, so you can counter a rush by giving your people rocks. Some of the new units are just worse versions of their European counterparts, but hey, you can get them out quickly. Then you have the more interesting ones. You can now use the harassment plague of horse archers. Assassins are the first sneaky boys in the game. They can only be detected
They're
from close
worse
range and
versions
behind
of the
walls. If they stand on a gate,
European
they'll open it
part.
right up. This is a cool option
Interesting.
for punishing someone who is overextending with walls. The new units are the biggest addition, but things were changed in other areas as well. Let's look at the presentation.
Sheesh, they
Some of the old UI icons
hauling
now have color.
throwing thousands of
Alright.
rocks.
Of course, the biggest change is the environment. It's a lot more obvious where you can plant crops now. It's also worth mentioning that a lot of these maps are much, much bigger than the original game.
These
Most
look
of
like
maps are
they're in
built
like the
before
the
V4s.
Middle
The new
East
desert
or
landscape
like
makes these
North
versions
Africa and stuff
easily
like that, which I
identifiable.
guess technically is
It's
part of the
nice,
Middle
but
East.
unfortunately, my biggest problem is still here. It's still difficult to tell what's going
Or
on
like
with the cliffs
some
and
parts of
walls.
Eastern
You still need
Europe.
to be extra careful with walls. I do admit that it happens a lot less often compared to before. Most of the maps are much better about it. The spirit of the character performances has also carried over. In fact, they might have turned it up a bit.
A message from the Caliph.
Remove your army from sight of my castle walls at once. Watch your back, knight. Watch your back. You have not seen the last of me. Infidel!
That's actually kind of cool. Like to live down there, just like a little video basically of
Then
them.
you have the new music. This stuff is good.
Yeah, it's like it's more of a like Arabian type theme. It said like they in Africa or in the Middle East somewhere they got palm trees and shit. The other one seemed more like a European type, France or Britain or Germany type thing.
It is not common for a game to get a Middle Eastern soundtrack. The production values are excellent. Sometimes the songs are complemented by the European music, and sometimes it goes the other way. I find it fascinating to listen to, and it complements the visuals perfectly. The gameplay has gone through a rebalance. Some buildings produce ridiculously faster. Alcohol and religion give significantly more happiness. Now you can utilize bad stuff more to
Well, I
increase
mean,
efficiency,
alcohol. I'm
or you
about
can
the
squeeze out
religion.
some insane new tax rates. Fire traps are much rarer, but there are new units that can cause fires. Except that now you can build a well. Now when there's a fire, Jerusalem's bravest can go out and take care of it. Your people will still give their life to drop off some cheese or bread, so you can't save everybody. Overall, though, the
You
pathfinding
just
in
walked
AI
in
is a lot better.
itself.
The army is still lacking mechanics, and the buildings still can't make rally points. But the AI and pathfinding improvements are great. Yeah, it's still clunky, but combat is more fun and you feel more in control. The original Stronghold is still well worth checking out. It's definitely a more relaxed game compared to its successor. Some people just consider it a tutorial for this game, and I can understand why. Crusader turns the game into an RTS with a more in-depth economy. The combat isn't a game changer, but it's improved. I do wish that you could properly play the forces of Allah, but you all share the same pool of stuff. So consider it an expansion of things you had before, rather than something entirely new. So despite their flaws, these are solid games, and I'd recommend... I forgot.
Oh,
Sire, the desert awaits you.
extreme. Anything called
Okay,
like
it's
extreme
like
is
Crusader,
going to
except now you have
suck.
10,000 units.
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. You can also use powers anywhere on the map.
It's
which
over
is right.
10,000.
Summon some knights. Get rushed by hundreds of enemies at the same time. Be an angry D&D
I know
player,
it's
drop rocks on
9,000. I
people.
know.
Hey, wait. The rocks didn't even hit him yet. Are these hit scan rocks?
The fuck?
Brave the Crusader Extreme Trail. I can only beat 2 of them by rushing assassins. My victories stopped pretty quickly. There's this one map that's a 3v1 and the enemies never stop coming at you. This might be one of the hardest RTS games I've ever played, and probably for all the wrong reasons. I tried an extreme random map and that was interesting. Someone out there said, what if the computer wasn't covered in lions, but the player... What if the player...
What?
What if the player was covered in lions?
I was like, that what you about to say?
They're sleeping next to the spawn. I've just started the game and someone's dead. I sure wish that...
Are those lions dead or are they sleeping?
Lions don't live.
Oh, they because they're sleeping.
I can't look at it.
Lions just get up and just kill you.
What do you say about something like this?
Why are there so many damn lions?
After Crusader came out. It's included in the HD version for free now, so who cares? So that's Stronghold. Never bothered.
Who
to
cares? It's free.
I think it holds up nicely, and you can get it cheap.
It sucks, but it's free.
A lot of other places, I think.
So you can't complain about it.
Especially to just about anybody. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for everyone backing me on this for reasons I don't understand. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Announcements. The next video is the guide.
It's coming. Stop asking about it. Whoa, the frame rate dropped to 6. God damn. Sheesh, why the frame rate dropping so low? I ain't turned my computer on in a while. Frame rate like, fuck you. Dropped to 6. 6 frames a second. But that game really interesting. I realized that I play a lot of RTSs on my phone. I mean, basically the same thing. Like you build and you're sending out troops, collecting resources, building stuff in your like either a castle or there's a settlement or whatever. And then you have soldiers and people can attack those soldiers. If they can attack your settlement if they want to get resources, or if there's an event, like how many that you have, whoever kills the most amount of soldiers or the enemy's troops wins this event, and they get so many like resources or whatever, or you get extra weapons or extra, you can unlock different stuff, like that. But yeah, but those games piss me off because you could be asleep and then wake up and have like 6 messages like, someone scouted your settlement. Your settlement had imminent threats and incoming on your settlement. Your settlement was attacked. Your settlement was attacked. Your settlement was attacked. They attacked your settlement multiple times. You on there, damn it, all your resources are gone. Almost all your soldiers are dead. And then of course your hospital capacity is nowhere near as many soldiers as you have. So as soon as your hospital reaches capacity, those soldiers just killed. So then they might have something like, oh, well, we have an enlistment thing where you can get those soldiers back. But, it takes time for the thing to build up, or you can buy the little coins to, get them back quicker. Otherwise, you have to wait for them to build up, wait for the energy to build up so you can get this number. But the more it builds up, the slower it gets because you have so many people that are dead. So you got to go in there and take, like, if you have, like, if it's build up's like 100,000, you use that, even though that's only like, that might be like 20 or 25,000 troops that you lost. And then it'll build up faster that way rather than just letting it try to fill all the way up to get all your soldiers back all at once. I'm just like, and it's just when I see that, sometimes I just be like, when I see a message that, oh, someone scouted you and attacked you, I just want to delete the game. Because I'm like, I build my camp or whatever, and I got all these resources, all these soldiers or whatever. And then somebody comes in, and I did it without paying money. You can tell somebody came in and they spent money. Because, like, the game only been out for like 5 years, and I've been playing it for 4 and some change. So I know, and I can look and see when you joined, and you joined 2 years ago. There's no way in hell. And I get be on this game every day, all day, doing the same events you're doing. How the fuck are you 4 or 5 times stronger than I am? Because you spent money. And then you just attack me sometimes for no reason. I'm just like, and now I've lost so many soldiers, I gotta almost start over, and it's like, I don't care. I was like, I'm the type, bro. I delete the game. I've done that 4, 5, 6, maybe 8 times. I don't know. I played a lot of games. Some of them I've deleted quicker than others. Like I've deleted games where people just start attacking you immediately. Just start attacking. You ain't even you haven't even gone through the tutorial yet, and you're getting attacked. Like as soon as they're like, oh, we give you a bubble at the beginning that lasts 3 days. The second that bubble went down, attack. I'm just like, wait, why? These people, they can't. I don't have enough resources or even enough soldiers. Just like they just attacking, just because they can. And they way above me. Like why? And I was like, fuck this. And I just delete the game. Like I don't play games to be stressed out. I play games to enjoy myself. And if I gotta be stressed out, especially when I can't seem to progress because assholes keep fucking with me, then I just won't play the game. Like I got no problem. Be like, oh, especially if I ain't spend any money on it. Delete that. Like it's like, cause it's not enjoyable. Like why keep it and take up space on my phone if it's not if I'm not enjoying it? Like, that's stupid. You know, that's a waste of time. I might as well play something that I enjoy. It gives me what I want. You know, if that's what you want to play that shit and be stressed out. I'm like, hey, everybody like certain games and like them for different reasons. But yeah, I especially like as I got older, like when I was younger, I was like, no, I gotta play the game at least on normal before I can play it on easy. And that's when actually I was like, I gotta play the game on normal, and then if it unlocked the hard mode, because you play it on normal, then I gotta play hard first before I can play easy. But now, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I will play a game the first time I ever play it on easy. I don't give a fuck. It's like I got less time than I did when I was younger, so I'm like, I just want to enjoy the game. I don't want to sit here and like, oh, I want to like I get achievements. Like yeah, it's on easy, but I feel the same feeling beating this boss on easy that I did on normal or hard. I don't give a fuck. But the games look at those games. They look cool. They're like some games I'll play. I'll probably never buy them on console or on PC, but some I'll play like on mobile or something. But they look cool. Anyway, hope I enjoyed my reaction on it. And if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're here. Hit that bell. You'll be notified when I upload new videos. Also, I'll be putting the link to this video, to the MandaloreGaming video in the description down below. So you go check out his video, like, comment, subscribe on his video, his channel, all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.